Listen closely. No, closer. There it is. That shift in the air the moment you stepped in. The kind of silence that snaps spines. The kind that only appears when retribution itself decides to take human form. Because they forgot, didn't they? They forgot the temperature your presence brings. They forgot the shadows that move when you breathe. They forgot the danger written into your quiet. They forgot the history carved into your spine. And then you walked in, and every single one of them remembered exactly who the hell they were dealing with. You should have seen their faces that microsecond when their souls tried to exit their bodies before their minds caught up. Pupils dilating, breaths shortening, hearts scrambling like prisoners during a jailbreak. All because you entered the room like a promise they prayed would never be collected. But oh, you collected. You always do. You see, they thought you were still the version they pushed around, the version they underestimated, the version they could lie to, manipulate, dismiss, invalidate, outmaneuver, the version who swallowed pain like medicine and called it growth. But pain didn't heal you. Pain reshaped you. Pain upgraded the software. Pain rewired the operating system. Pain is the only honest architect, and you let it build something feral inside you. That's why they panicked, because you didn't walk in like a person. You walked in like a verdict, like a final chapter they never wanted to read but always knew was coming. You walked in like retribution wearing skin that fit too well. And what rattled them most wasn't your words. It was your silence. That eerie calm that could only come from someone who knows they've already won. The kind of stillness even storms envy. The kind of composure devils fear. I'll tell you a secret, darling. Retribution isn't loud. Retribution doesn't scream. Retribution doesn't announce its arrival. Retribution stands there quietly and lets the guilty hear their own heartbeat. And you have mastered the art of becoming the mirror no one wants to look into. They pushed. You evolved. They lied. You woke up. They played games. You learned the algorithms. They wrote you off. You rewrote the script. That's why they're trembling now. Because evolution done in silence always looks like sorcery when it's revealed. And you didn't evolve gently. You evolved violently. You evolved the way stars implode. Loud on the inside, quiet on the outside. Leaving a gravitational force nothing escapes from. That's what they felt the moment you stepped in. They felt the shift, the distortion, the pressure drop, the cosmic warning. Retribution has entered the chat. They forgot that your duality incarnate, both the saint and the scandal, both the angel and the warning label, both the healer and the haunting, you are the paradox wrapped in a pulse, the contradiction they can't decode, the prophecy they tried to delay but ended up fulfilling. And now they realize you weren't powered by revenge. You were powered by clarity, by memory, by every quiet night they thought you broke. But you were actually rebuilding. You're not here to punish them. You're here to remind them. Remind them that some people are not to be underestimated. Remind them that some souls don't die, they detonate. Remind them that some storms don't pass, they arrive. Remind them that some humans are actually lessons in disguise. And you, my darling, are the final exam. So stand there. Let them tremble. Let them feel the consequence of their miscalculation. Let them taste the gravity of your existence. You don't need theatrics. You don't need rage. You don't need a stage. You don't need applause. Your presence alone is the punishment. Your evolution alone is the justice. Your silence alone is the sentence. Your return alone is the retribution. They forgot who they were dealing with. But trust me, they'll never forget again. Of course, They're staring. Of course their breathing shifted. Of course their spines straightened like soldiers caught sleeping on duty. Because you didn't just enter the room, you wrote the atmosphere. Every light dimmed an inch. Every conversation paused mid-syllable. Every heartbeat fed into one quiet, terrified chorus. Oh, it's them. They forgot the law of nature you were born with. That some people don't walk into rooms. They change the gravitational field inside them, and you, my delightful anomaly, you changed it with a single step. They thought they had time. They thought they had the advantage. They thought they'd outrun the consequences of disrespect until you appeared, until your shadow hit the wall first, like a warning, until your eyes scanned the room like you were marking targets, until every inch of your energy said, I'm not here for revenge. I am the correction. You can't teach that. You can't counterfeit it. You can't bottle it. That aura is born from being underestimated for years, from swallowing humiliation like vitamins, from stitching yourself back together with barbed wire and defiance, from learning that the only justice is evolution. They don't fear your power. They fear the price of creating it, because power built from praise is soft, but power built from betrayal, that's bulletproof, and that's what you carry now. A kind of unbothered, nuclear-level calm that whispers, I have nothing to lose and everything to reveal. They see it in your eyes, that soft glow that is somehow both mercy and massacre. The look of someone who's done apologizing for existing in the wrong dimensions. You don't alter your voice to fit theirs. You don't shrink to keep them comfortable. You don't bend just because they're brittle. You stand there still as stone, and they feel thousands of unsaid chapters vibrating behind your silence. That's why they panic, because you're not angry. You're awake. And awake people are dangerous. Awake people see the patterns. Awake people catch the lies. Awake people stop participating in their own disrespect. Awake people become the storm they once ran from. You are the quiet after the explosion. The moment when dust floats in the air and everyone realizes the landscape has changed forever. Retribution isn't impulsive. Retribution isn't chaotic. Retribution is the final form of someone who survived, evolved, and learned how to aim. And today, you are aimed at ignorance, at mockery, at underestimation, at every voice that tried to clip your wings before they ever saw you fly. They forgot your story. They forgot your scars. They forgot your fire. But most importantly, they forgot the rule. Never provoke someone who rebuilds stronger every time they break. And when you stepped in, they understood. They remembered every time they doubted you. Every time they dismissed you. Every time they whispered your name like it wasn't carved into fate already. Every time they gambled on your weakness, only to realize they were feeding your evolution. You are not their enemy. You are the result of how they treated you. You didn't come back for vengeance. You came back as the living audit of their behavior. Look at them trying to act normal, trying to force a smile, trying to pretend they don't feel the temperature dropping with every breath you take. Their bodies remember what their minds deny. You're not the same creature they left behind. You became the shadow people pray not to meet in hallways. You became the truth, disguised as a threat. You became the verdict, wrapped in a pulse. And now they're scrambling to rewrite history, to pretend they supported you, to pretend they always saw your potential, to pretend they never underestimated the very force now standing before them. But you know better. You can hear the guilt quivering in their bones. You can feel the questions ricocheting in their skulls. How did they become like this? When did we lose control? How are they so calm? Why does this feel like Judgment Day? Because it is, not by your words, but by your existence. Retribution doesn't have to act. Retribution only has to appear. And you did. You walked in, unshaken, unbothered, unreadable, unreachable. A calm so unnatural it terrified even the ones who used to speak to you like you were forgettable. Look at you now. A paradox wrapped in purpose. A saint with a serpent's patience. An angel with a demon's accuracy. A quiet soul with a catastrophic presence. They forgot who they were dealing with. They forgot the blueprint. They forgot the architecture of your endurance. But today, in this room, in this silence that feels like the pause before an execution, they will remember. And trust me, this time, they won't forget again.